Well, it's Sunday, and let me finish up what I wanted to say about Amtrak. The limitations are, if you need, and I've said this on all these clips, but if you need to be somewhere at a particular time, Amtrak is probably not your best bet. If you're trying to make an Amtrak connection, and I sat with dinner Friday night with two people that rode the Empire Builder from Chicago to Portland, and then they caught the Coast Starlight from Portland. Well, I went to Seattle and stayed over a night because, as I said earlier, I thought I had enough energy to wander around Seattle for a while, and I didn't get any restful sleep on the Empire Builder. So, if you accept that the journey is part of your total experience, then I really got to think that Amtrak is something you need to look into. The food was pretty good. I was surprised, but there's not a lot of selection. I had the flat iron steak every night for dinner on all three legs, and I liked it. It was actually cooked pretty good. It was better than Sizzler or a chain restaurant, I thought. Breakfast and lunch, I had a cheeseburger for lunch every day, and breakfast was usually some type of scrambled egg or cheese omelet. I got enough. The sleeping quarter rooms have free coffee and free water, though the water's warm. And only on this last leg was there juice, orange juice, and the juice is also warm. They don't have an ice maker on the train. They have like a 50-pound bag of bags of ice brought on, which is why I think I had such a problem getting my mug full of ice, because ice is a limited supply on the train. So if you really want to have cold drinks on your excursion, I think you're going to have a problem outside of the meal times. Now, when I went in to eat, my diet Coke cans were cold, so that was fine. But if you're like me and you like to sip all day on something to drink that's cold, Amtrak is going to be a challenge, because you're not going to be able to get a cold drink outside of meal times. The bed was probably about what you'd expect camping. Maybe a little bit better if you have a nice mattress pad. It's definitely not really a mattress. Some of the, and the pillows were horrible. The pillows were worse than Motel 6. So, I used to laugh at the ingrate about bringing his own pillows, but I'm going to have to eat a little crow here. He was spot on, because I miss my pillows, and I'm anal about my pillows. And so that's one of the drawbacks. But the dining, you could eat in your room, and your room attendant will bring you your meals. But I ate in the dining car, which means that you're going to get sat with strangers. And as I said, sometimes it's good, and sometimes people don't have a lot to say, and they just want to be left alone, and that's fine. But it's something you need to be aware of. If you are more antisocial than I am, then you're going to want to eat in your room. Now, if there's two of you, you're going to really want to reevaluate a roomette over a bedroom, because a roomette is cozy, and I don't think there's room for luggage and two people in the roomette. You're going to either have to check your bags and then bring in a small overnight something with your tablet and your plug and stuff. So that's something you're going to need to evaluate, and I suggest doing some YouTube research, like on the channel I mentioned, the Grounded Life Travel Channel. You need to investigate some of this. Do your research. I hate to say do your research, but do your research on YouTube so you could actually see what these people and I are talking about. The ride could be pretty bumpy sometimes. It's not smooth like a car. The staff was impeccably nice. There's no Wi-Fi, which I think is a failure by Amtrak. There's no reason for it anymore. And there was a lot of the country that there was no cell service at all. So if you're wedded to your tablet, you better have something downloaded to entertain yourself when the sun sets and you're staring out the window. Bring a book or something. Listen to music. I did. Would I do it again? Yes. But you got to understand the limitations. So Amtrak is a yes. If you have any interest or thought you might want to take it, investigate it, and at least do it once. If you do it once and you think, nah, this is not, this wasn't worth, I'm glad I did it, but I won't do it again, then at least you know. I did take Uber, and I had sworn I would never take Uber. Not all these Uber drivers have enough insurance like a taxi cab company does, but they were pretty unresponsive to, I thought I might miss the train, so I got an Uber, and the guy was there in a minute. And then in Sacramento, there wasn't a taxi to be had, and the Uber guy showed up in less than 5 minutes. Uber, now the guy who picked me up, the Uber drivers get 40% of the take. So my ride from Sacramento back here to Shady Pines was almost $60. So he got $24 of the $60 fare. Now out of that $24, he pays all his expenses because he's an independent contractor. So he pays both ends of the FICA, income tax, and now granted he does get to take his car expenses off, whether he takes actual expense or the per mile expense is really up to the individual. I imagine you get a 1099 at the end of the year with how much you got in total compensation from Uber. Now my driver said that Uber had offered him 55 cents a trip for the added gasoline costs since the price of gas has spiked, which I think is an insult. I wanted to support the taxi cabs, but here in Stockton, they're abysmal. And there is no yellow cab. I don't know where the hell they are. So as much as I am going to go against my ethics here and try to support a legitimate taxi industry, if they're not going to perform, then, it's like anyone else. You find somebody who will. So you're going to notice that this 8 or 9 or 10 minute clip is separate from everything else. But I think that's it. I had a good time. Chicago was a cool place. Oh, the homeless. I may not have mentioned this. I may have. Jesus, I need to edit. There were no homeless in downtown Chicago. All the homeless camp under the Dan Ryan Expressway. And I watched 2 Chicago-based Chicago TV stations who have YouTube clips, WGN being one of them. And there's endless stories of car-to-car shootings and stuff on the Dan Ryan Expressway. So, you got to be paying attention. So, there are a ton of homeless in Chicago, just not downtown where Charlie and I were. I had a good time. I like Chicago for my brief exposure to it. I'm going to go back next year for my godson, the younger Charlie. He should be graduating high school next year. I will probably take the Coast Starlight down to Los Angeles and take the Southwest Chief to Chicago and then I'll decide how I want to get home. I may just come straight home on the California Zephyr. I've done it before. I'll do it again. It's not that big of a deal. I may ride the Spider out there, but if I get some type of sickness attack, I don't want to miss the graduation. So that's one of the reasons that I took the train this year. So that's my Amtrak trip Uber wrap-up. It's about 10 plus minutes. Thank you for watching all of my nonsense. This is your host, Joe, posting to Life with Yosef. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day. And as always, peace be with you.